Nio was looking for a breakout, breaking this resistance stemming from that 683 level. We've gotten that nice breakout from that initial pennant structure here. Had a nice run up, continuing for that breakout from this descending triangle, and now we've gotten a new resistance. Sellers trying to make their move earlier this week, but we see that buyers bought it right back up, got back above that 608. Now we're looking to break that resistance that held up for a bit of time, bringing the stock slightly downwards. All right, guys, on the weekly chart, so stemming off this entire movement was this break of this descending triangle. So initially we had a nice descending triangle right around the same support zone, slightly higher, which led us to a around 100% movement to the upside before topping at 770. This leads in a longer and more volatile descending triangle pattern where we get down to the floor of around that 338 level and we find another triangle pattern, and eventually we get a break of the smaller resistance here on this triangle pattern as well as a long-term descending triangle, which led us up to around that 520 level where we find a bit of a pennant, almost like a flag and pole structure, continued our movement to the upside, and now we've caught something pretty similar. So we got that nice movement, and now we're getting a little bit of chop, very small pullback. Now the buyer's looking for a break and continuation of this breakout level move, looking for a test of 770. I guess so. Turning back to the daily time chart, this is a textbook breakout type of structure off of a descending triangle, and Neo recently have gotten into these squeeze level patterns, right? We see in the past, like we looked at in the weekly, really volatile, get tight, 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 break out of this resistance, leading to a huge move to the upside, 100% at the time. And then we come down very volatile. We're not finding fight from the buyers, but then we end up getting to this nice support zone of 338, slightly below that, right? The low being 3. But that support zone, that general support holds up really nicely where we kind of chop around, but we're getting tighter and tighter. Prices starting to die down. Somebody has to win. We're meeting up with resistance, and with this very strong support level that has continuously held up. Tightest price action we've seen on Neo in a very long time, and we get that break, continuation break of this descending triangle. And now, guys, you can see that we are continuing getting in these squeeze-like patterns. The sellers don't really have much of an answer, right? We break that level, get up here, really get tight, kind of chop in this pennant. This is a textbook pennant. So I'll try to make their move to the downside. We see that false breakdown. Buyers buy right back up, then boom, explosive move to 683 being the high. And this time, guys, a little bit different. We don't see such a narrow chopping sideways pennant. Instead, we're looking at more of a descending type of movement. We find some obvious resistance here, and then the sellers really try to make their move. So we're kind of battling around. So they're trying to make their move. Buyers buy it up. 1-2 days of green price action. Looking for that break. That'd be the second real attempt out. Right, we kind of created this level here, try to break it here, try to break again here, and from that rejection we gap down all the way almost to that $547 level, really kind of retracing that move, really kind of retracing around half of this movement from this break of this kind of pennant structure. But then buyers buy it right back up. 2 days of strong buyer movement here, guys. We see around roughly a 9% move to the upside, recorrecting, getting back above that $6 level, and now breaking this pennant. So we were really stuck at that level, but we actually broke that resistance and could be a premature false breakout, but still very nice price action to close at that resistance break after the sellers really try to stop this continuation of this breakout. And so if we did get the breakout here, guys, this would be a continuation of this long-term descending triangle breakout, since we really never found a notable pullback after that level got broke. And does it have to break out this time? It doesn't exactly have to have a super volatile move to 683 and past that just yet. Can it? Of course. I mean, this is a nice price action, but we could also be seeing a bit of chop, reclaiming this as support and getting into a longer term kind of pennant structure. Kind of like we saw back here when we got that initial breakout of this pennant right here, right? We see a longer, more dragged out type of pennant before a nice squeeze out. I feel like this price action was a bit different and it is leading up to a nice break right here. I think we look really good on Neo personally, but could always be a bit more chop and delayed price action before seeing that full explosive volatile move to the upside. I also think there's a chance that we squeeze out right here. I mean, we do look nice actually getting over that resistance. All right, guys, on the hourly, we see a better, closer eye view perspective. So this is the resistance we are battling stemming from 683. After there's a nice volatile move to the upside, buyers in a very strong position, and this is where that resistance is created. We see that first attempt out, cannot get that, we get shot back down, but we're in a pretty healthy descending profile still, nothing too volatile, and we do go for that test again here. Small pullback, try to really get out close from 1 hourly candle out of that resistance, but that gaps us downwards, hitting the low of 560, really looking like the sellers were finally putting an end to this breakout level movement, trying to retrace this past big move to the upside upside after breaking out of that pennant after that initial breakout. Now, instead of sellers riding this momentum, buyers buy right back up, showing that the stock is still strong overall. And this is just normal price action in a way, right? Huge moves to the upside. You're most likely to see a at least decent test to the downside after these breakout level movements, even on strong stocks. And so we do get a nice correction, green white bar back up to that support level. A little bit of chop there, right? Sellers and buyers kind of battling out control for that 608. And boom, nice breakout of that resistance. And this green white bar kind of solidifies that breakout. We don't see a kind of false, weak breakout attempt here or here. We see a smaller candle over, a bit of selling pressure, but then boom, green wide bar showing that ultimate buying pressure. And from that, we have a smaller retracement type of candle. And then we have a candle closing with a lot of buying pressure. So what that's signaling to me is that we are going to really continue this breakout out of this resistance and possibly retest that last previous high, creating this type of formation at that 683. Nothing's completely guaranteed in the stock market, as we know, right? We could be seeing continued kind of pressure here, trying to test that 608 first before going ahead and getting that movement up. Either use that 608 as support or this drawn resistance as support and then trend to the upside. But there's also a chance that since we've broken that resistance, we continue our movement up, breaking this micro resistance and retesting that 683 level. So like what I'm seeing here on Nio, guys, really bullish still here, and we could be getting a nice big move to the upside even on the next trading day. If we don't, look for that 608 to hold. If that doesn't hold, look for this resistance level to hold as support, trending on that, and then continuing to the upside. So that's all I got for you guys today. We remain in a bullish outlook here. I think we look really good on Nio still. Our price targets are 770, that being the high of this descending triangle pattern, really leading to that initial volatile spike up and breakout level type of movement, continuing in that fashion. And then our next price target would be right around that psychological $9 level, rough resistance where we had a tough time getting over, which led to the further descent of this descending type of movement. And that'd be more of a medium slash long-term type of price target, but we are in a very volatile movement, as you can see. It's looking like we are continuing. We are looking good here on Nio. So with that being said, guys, I'll conclude the video. If you want to see more Nio content, make sure to like and subscribe. If you guys like the video and subscribe, that shows me you want to see more Nio, and I'll continue to do so. As well as let me know your price predictions in the comments below. I'm interested to see where you guys are at on the stock, both short and long term. You guys have positions in the stock, you guys looking to buy a position. Appreciate you guys all watching to the end of the video. And as always, guys, trade smart. I'll see you all in the next one.